Hello, friends. Welcome back to another That Time of the Month. Since Bryn is still out on maternity leave, we miss her dearly. We thought we'd take the opportunity to have this That Time of the Month with our new Hype Bestie ambassador in Denver, Marianne Moses. We posted about her a few weeks ago, but just excited for you to get to know her a little bit more, hear from her, and specifically, we're going to dive into her gender journey. And she's at the start of it. She'll give us the details, and just excited to be able to highlight where she's at with that and just have the conversation. We're all about that over here. That's what we're focused on that time of the month this month. So sit in, join us, and just fall in love with Marianne. And it's always fun because we were in different time zones, and I think we had a bit of a confusion with it.
Hi.
Technology is great. Hi.
How are you?
Oh, good. It's a Friday. Can't complain. And it's
Yep,
just always good to see your smiling face.
you too.
Yeah. So, welcome to the What She Said
I'm
family. First of all, it's your
so
first
excited.
live.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're so happy
Exciting.
to have you here. And first, I just kind of wanted to start with kind of you telling the community a little bit about yourself and your journey to this point today, just to get to know you a bit more.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'll start off with I've always been, and it's even in my bio, completely obsessed with the human experience. I'm like, what is this? What are we doing? There's society, there's the universe, there's the something greater than us. Like all of the things have always just been so incredibly interesting to me. And I have always seen that as a part of my life's work. And so that's why I find myself in event production, especially for makers markets, because in that realm, I get to talk to so many people. I get to hear so many stories. I get to hear so many innovative ideas. I mean, the artists and the makers of the world are definitely, in that innovator mindset and always thinking about things differently. Um, so yeah, so I think again, I produce events. I vend myself. I've done probably 400 pop-ups and markets since
So
May
crazy.
of 2021.
She
I was
knows her
like, I'll say
markets,
yes to
folks. She knows her
everything.
markets. Yeah.
Yes. Where I sell my earrings, crystals, that type of thing. So I've been on this kind of like, yeah, just like the human experience journey. It's like, how can I learn more? Always asking questions. So again, that's why I kind of find myself in that event production arena, because I come across hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and
Totally.
I love to, and like especially love to connect just like individually with people. So yeah,
You
it's
can feel
good.
that from you. You're a curious soul who, and I haven't gotten to know you for super long, but it's clear who you are and the energy you
Mm,
bring to a room. But it's not even just an energy for you. It's an energy that invites a learning from others in, and that lends itself so well to events and social life and
mhm.
whatnot. But also exactly what we were looking for when we wanted to start to expand in
Yep.
Denver and find those ambassadors that we call hype besties that embody that hype human energy just at their core as they are, really looking to level up not only themselves but others along the way. And perfect, you reached out. That's our job description,
Yeah.
if you could even call it that, spoke for your
Hmm.
soul. And we've been lucky to be able to bring you on board, and the future is bright in this partnership. So
Thank you.
thank you for joining us.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. I know. And the job description in a nutshell is like, be obsessed with what people are doing. And I was like, oh, I love that. I'm already there. Like,
Yes. Which
Let's
makes
do
it even
this.
better. You don't have to try that hard, which we
Yeah.
love. And through working together, obviously, you get to know what's going on in people's lives. We're big about that as well. We're not just trying to create a company, a platform that puts you to work and just is interested in your skill set. We want to know about your human experience, as you say. What's good in your world right now? What are you learning? What's hard in your world? How can we
Mhm.
support? And just want to change the dynamics there. And within that, Marianne shared that she is on a gender journey, really diving into the details of what that looks like for her. And I thought that is such a great topic for that time of the month, because here at What She Said, we're all about having those conversations and bringing to the light, because you never know who could learn from what you're experiencing right in this moment as you are, who's curious and wants to go down that same path and would love to hear how it is for you, who just wants to be more aware and open and accepting and creating in their own companies safe space for all. And just think it's a great conversation for us to get to peek into the window of where you're at, what you're
Hmm.
learning, and just kind of be curious about it.
Yeah, and I think that word curious, it strikes such a chord because um, when we talk about self and curiosity, one of my lines is like, I hope I never say the words, that's just how I am. Like
Ooh,
I never
good.
I never want to say that. And no shade to anybody who's like, but that's me though. And I'm like, okay, yes, I love that. Because I feel like, it's an ever evolving journey and process. And I've been in this big slowdown, this from, going gangbusters, I guess they say it, in life with event production. And the summer was like just full of so much doing
Yeah.
that, and this has been like kind of my life over the last few years. And I really took the time. I hired a coach, also my BFF of 15 years, but and we
Love
really,
that.
yes, it's beautiful. And we really, she was like, but what are you doing? But what are you, what do you really want? And when someone asks you that, it's so big, and especially if you're a visionary, a thought leader, an innovator, you're like, there's so many things. And it was like this quiet whisper that was like, you have heard of the term non-binary, and there's people out in this world that are not subscribing to someone else telling them who and what they are. And that whisper got bigger. And I was like, I'm really interested in the journey of to what it means to be non-binary. And I follow a really incredible activist, poet. They call themselves a comedian as well, which is incredible. But of Alok Vain Menon, and Alok speaks in such a way that you kind of you go a little bit deeper within. And they said the non-binary is for everybody. It's not exclusive to the LGBTQIA plus community, which I've always been an ally of that community. But as a straight identifying cis woman, when I would hear non-binary, I'd be like, that's amazing, and then just kind of push it off to like, they're out there, these people are out there doing something different, but because I'm not, I don't identify as part of that community per se, it's not for me. So when Alok said it's for everybody, I was like, oh my gosh, this is available to me. This is available to me to think of myself without the labels, without and it's actually the bigger part of it that I get a little bit more into in my blog is like the expectation behind these labels.
Mm.
Um, and I just love what's happening in humanity right now. Like people are saying like, I choose how I, express. I choose how I show up. I choose how I'm described. I choose. And I think I was watching last night. It was Jonathan Van Ness. Love him from Queer Eye.
Yeah.
And he has a show on Netflix, or sorry,
I
they have a
just
show on
shared a
Netflix.
story of him on our social
Yeah.
just now, so it's funny that you brought this up.
Yeah, and they came out as non-binary.
Yeah,
And so they have a show, I believe it's called like Getting Curious with Jonathan Van Ness, something like that.
I
And
haven't seen
Alok
that.
was on the show. And um, you know, Jonathan asked the question, like, what is it that's so threatening? Because I think, the words like gender nonconforming and non-binary, like it's one of those like polarizing words for some reason. And Alok said that it's because it expresses choice. It expresses um, the ability to self-define rather than going in one box or the
It's
other
just
that was defined
society
for
doing it
us,
for you.
right?
Yeah,
Totally. And I
yeah.
was like, yes, that's it. Like it's threatening because of that. And why is that a threat? Well, if you throw, quote, gender roles out the window, or we're trying to close that wage gap, or all of the things that, come with those words, male in society or female in society, it's almost like, okay, but now there's this middle ground in this like spectrum. So what do we do with these people? We don't even know what to do with them. So we're going to make laws against them. We're going to come up with new ways to discriminate and that type of thing. But I think the self-defining urge is becoming bigger and bigger
Definitely.
in society.
You're seeing
Hmm.
with whole generations of people who are no longer accepting what's being told to them,
Yep.
challenging the status quo, challenging the systems, challenging the
Hmm.
patriarchy. And it's beautiful. And I think people, maybe not in those younger generations like you and I
Hmm.
are out here trying to catch up with the work that they're
Yeah.
doing and learn more and choose for ourselves as well what our life looks like with more choice.
Yeah.
And um, how did you, and knowing that after following the person who's been, kind of showing you the way and realizing that this could be for you,
Hmm.
what was the next step then in trying to dive into
Yeah.
if you wanted that?
So one of my first things was like saying it out loud
That's
and
hard.
like telling people.
Yeah, that's hard.
I like just sprinkling it because I didn't even know, even for, this live that we're doing, one of my best friends, she was like, so you coming out non-binary? And I was like, oh my gosh, is this like a coming out? Like I didn't,
I should
it's
have brought
right.
some confetti or something.
Right, I know. And because some of my closest friends are of the queer community, and their coming out stories are, um, especially from, early 90s and things like that, are not as celebratory and not as, with open arms. And so, but, I sprinkled it to my partner of almost 6 years, 6, 7 years. And he was like, well, I don't know if I want to be with someone who's non-binary. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, let's talk about that
So just
because,
reject it out the gate. Like there
right.
should be a discussion.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is a coming out. Like this is different. Because I guess the way that I went in and I was like, well, we're going to talk about this more because I want you to know where I'm coming from. Um, because it's just preconceived notions, that and I didn't realize that those preconceived notions, or those well, this group is this way, like that was already a thing. Like there was already, rather than hearing my personal journey into it, there was already a stigma, or I'm trying to find the words for it, but
They're put in a
stereotype
box,
or a
like you
box,
said. Yeah.
right?
And there's no room
Hmm.
for fluidity and spectrums and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just started with saying it out loud.
Which is
It started with,
cool.
yeah, and also trying to do my best to uh, define what it means for me personally,
Mm.
not, based on this person or that person, but what I know about the word non-binary, and then how it applies to me. So that's why my pronouns are she, they. And I say that it's the she for comfortability for my partner and my son, maybe my family. And then the they is actually just for me. The they pronoun is for my personal exploration and for my reimagining what is, possible for me in this human experience. And it's so personal right now. And I'm just like staying in the newness of it. And I'm, you know, kind of engaging in content from people that have, are in this and have done this before me, and, what it means to be, with that word non-binary, but still identifying as a straight, cis woman, I guess you could
Right.
say. So, yeah.
Right. So many questions.
Yeah.
So, one of them being, because it's beautiful to see, and I loved the word exploring that,
Mm-hmm.
because I think sometimes what's intimidating to not only get curious or learn for whether it's yourself or someone you love or just societally in
Mm-hmm.
general is the overwhelming aspect of, getting it wrong or
Mm-hmm.
attaching to something and then maybe feeling like, okay, that's not a fit. I'm going to switch gears. And when we were talking about it previously, I loved also your mindset on, I don't need to get attached to an outcome
Mm-hmm.
of this or a forever with exploring all of the things it means to be a human,
Yeah.
right? And I would love for you to dive into that a bit more and in connecting it with our community. I think a lot of times there is a scary step to start a business. There's a
Yeah.
scary step to commit to someone. There's a
Mm-hmm.
scary step to all of these different life phases because we create these expectations of permanence
Yep.
and attachment, and getting it 100% perfect when there's so much to be said about just genuine human exploration
Mm-hmm.
and living in that experience and allowing it to move and change you. And I really loved hearing that, and it piqued, my mental interest in what you were doing. So if there's anything more that you've got on that, how are you exploring it?
Mm-hmm.
And if it is for you, like what are some things that have felt good or felt a little scary or on that exploration journey that you're kind of discovering?
Yeah, I think when we talk about getting it right and perfect, I feel like those words, they're just kind of another word for control.
Yep.
And like when we try to control an outcome, it might turn out the way that we really, really want it to. And we're like, yes, but I think it also closes the door to it becoming this thing that we so great and so incredible that we couldn't have even imagined.
Mm-hmm.
So I always go into things very curious without the perfection or control mindset, because I'm of the belief and the deep trust in knowing that it's going to turn out and take me to places that I couldn't even dream of, that I couldn't even imagine. So again, and it's kind of like when I went into like vegan and vegetarian, I just consumed a lot of content from all different sides, from people that are like, in the political scene and the political arena and what that means for, non-binary, gender non-conforming, the trans community, all of that. Because I think without kind of exploring other people's experience, um, you won't find what like pings for you. So it's been really important to just hear the stories. And that has shaped a lot of like my ideas and about myself, and just taking bits that that resonate, and leaving what doesn't.
I mean,
So
there's no
yeah, I think.
more beautiful way to live life than
Hmm.
live in your intuition and in your, in your body and your heart and listen to what resonates with you and go there.
Yeah,
That that's a beautiful practice. Love that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll go back a little bit to what my partner said and kind of how I reacted. 'Cause don't want to leave it just at that because he's
Oh
actually
yeah.
very open-minded. But he said, well, because we were kind of talking about it, and I was like, I just want to be like more expressive in a way that I don't know that's available to me yet, but I want to explore that. I feel like I've been in this, box as a, partner, wife, a mother, a sister, daughter, all of the titles. And so I was like, it's not that and I love all of that expression too, but again, what's beyond that for me, and I don't know. And I love going into the great unknown. I delight in the mystery of my life is one of my most favorite affirmations. But he said, well, why can't you do all of those things and still be woman, still be she, her? And the only answer that I can come up with, and it might not be very good, but it was because I don't have to. Because I
Oh,
don't have
that's good
to.
though. That is good. Always asking why.
Mhm. I don't have to.
That's
It's like
powerful.
it's available to me to not be of those labels.
That's
So,
super
yeah.
powerful. What was his response to that?
We just kind of like a head
Sit,
nod, just kind of,
sitting in it, probably
yep,
processing it.
sitting with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because and again, I, didn't know that's how it was going to go. I thought, oh, well, everybody's just going to love and accept me for who I am, no matter what I do.
Wouldn't
I could
that be
paint
great?
my face green and be like, we're doing this. So that was really, I mean, that to me, and looking back on that and just the way I felt, and I was so glad I went through that experience. I'm glad that we're, still continuing the conversation because um, it's just a part of the journey. It's interesting. And I think that's, parts of my life can be very mundane, very, vanilla as they call it. And it's like, I'm just ready to like be so interested again and be so engaged. And we try to find that outside of ourselves, the external. I would do that a lot. And now it's like the most interesting thing to me is actually myself.
Mm,
So
thank-
that it feels
that's
good.
beautiful. That's so
Thanks.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, I know you're still early on
Hmm.
in exploring this for yourself, but any advice if someone's listening and they're getting
Hmm.
that same like heart palpitation, this is for me, I'm
Hmm.
curious, is there any advice you'd have?
Yeah, I think what's been really helpful is instead of starting with, and this goes back to what's been helpful for me on my journey, what am I doing, is I'm going backwards into time and thinking about and looking through history of how is the binary served, in like, women couldn't vote because they had that, because they're this, because they're woman. They couldn't have bank accounts without their husband's signature. They couldn't. So it's almost like doing a deep dive back into history to be like, wait, what? What? And now we're in 2023 and we look back then like, that's why we fought so hard. That's why we, you know, radicalized, and that's why we have this like boss babe boss bitch movement where women can do anything, and it's like, yeah, and we always could have. So how has the binary served us? And
Mm,
again, looking at the wage gap and all the benefits to being quote male on this planet. So it's been really helpful to me to just go back into time and look at the history, and then that question, that what if. And that's my the next blog that I'm writing is all about the what if there wasn't a binary, and how that would serve humanity, how that would have served humanity back in the day when we were making laws for men and women, male and female. Um, what if we were just born? How society would be different? Because I think the binary, I mean, maybe not everyone might feel like this, but it expresses a hierarchy, right? So,
100%.
uh,
I think your history lesson, just like we've all either been on or are on or whatnot, of uncovering the layers that just continually blow your mind, expand your
mhm,
mind, and make you ask why.
yeah,
And it's a beautiful process just to help support your mind, your heart, your journey as you keep going. And I think asking that what if is beautiful. I can't
mhm.
wait for your blog to come out and we can
Thank
share it
you.
here and you can see how much this lights you up. And that's inspiring too. And it's got to make you feel like you're on the right journey for you, which is
Yeah.
right. See, I need to get
Thank
rid
you.
of that word
No,
out
no,
of
no, no.
vocabulary.
I mean, right now in this moment, hell yeah. And I,
Yeah.
it's also, and I'm not like an ageist type of person,
Yeah.
but I think it's important because, I think we see a lot of young people coming out the gate and they're like, Gen Z is like not the way millennials are or further back. And
Yeah.
so, they're more bold with it. They're more like, this is me. I'm going to do whatever, like literally whatever I want, express however I want. Um, and so I'm a day before it's my 42nd birthday eve.
Oh my
So I
God.
turn, I
I didn't know that.
know.
What
Yeah.
the heck? I
So I
love
turn
it.
42 tomorrow, and it's like when I was 25 or younger, like 40 something. I mean, that was like, oh gosh,
Yeah, so
ancient
far away.
human.
Yeah.
And so the reason that I say age, even though it doesn't matter to me, for another person, they might go, well, I'm of that age, and I'm thinking of myself differently. Hey, it's available to you
Yeah.
too, no matter what age you are.
It's a beautiful mirror to see
Yeah.
that, what someone might need from you, and that is the validation that I can still change and grow and be curious and
Hmm.
explore. And I love that. And we
Thank
have a
you.
happy early
I
birthday
know.
wish.
Thank you. And it actually says, I love it. It may have been a typo, but it says easy birthday. And I'm like, hey, I'm down for that too. I love
Yeah.
it. I'm
Oh
actually
no, the
gonna,
easy
yeah.
is good. The easy is good.
Yeah, the
Love
easiest
that.
question.
Well, thank you for
Yeah,
sharing
thank
not
you for having
only
me.
your exploration, the journey you're on, but also just being able to have our community see your face, get to know you a bit more because you're going to be around more and
Mhm.
interacting with everyone and just making magic in Denver, which we're grateful for. But also for sharing your birthday eve. I didn't
Yeah.
even know. I'm so
Yeah,
excited to
it's
know.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I really have to, commend what she said because when I went into that interview with you and Bryn, I don't even know that I would have shared that I was on a non-binary journey if it wasn't for what was in y'all's bio. How it says it's for women-owned businesses and non-binary and their networks. And I was like, dang, that's awesome. I actually I can guarantee I wouldn't have shared it if it wasn't in your bio because it didn't feel
That,
relevant. But the fact that you had it in your bio, I was like, this is dope. Like, I can't wait to be like, and I'm on my non-binary journey because
I love that.
the
And that's
support is
making
right
me
there.
emotional. And
Oh,
you asked me earlier when we were talking about this, why did we
yeah.
choose that? Why?
Hmm.
And it's so naturally ingrained in us that it did have to make me stop and think. But just being able to create a space where people feel safe, they feel
Yep.
seen, they feel heard, they feel accepted to go explore, go grow, or have their coming out
Hmm.
non-binary day on their platform, or just be their true selves is important here for us. It's important in life. And I mean, that's like one of the biggest honors that you say you felt comfortable enough with us to do that. And I can't wait to watch the journey as you keep diving down the path.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
Yay.
welcome. I know. And happy early birthday.
Thank
And
you so much.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
share when we reshare, we'll share and tag the accounts that you follow that have given you a lot of
Yep.
guidance in case others can use the same.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yay.
Yay. Thank you,
Thanks,
Emily.
Marianne. Bye, y'all.
Bye.